Time for Change Awakening calls tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on this line. Things are rapidly transitioning for planet Earth, Gaia Arya, unbeknownst to the distraction. And the distraction is everything outside of you. And it's really tempting for many to become drawn into it as an actor or actress in it. It's very, very easy for us to do that because we're used to doing it. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's just that, but we become aware of it. We become clear about what that is, and to choose not to engage as a participant, but as a spectator. And that's tough too when you're a spectator, because then you move from a spectator to a watcher. And that's tough because when you're used to interacting with those things, because of the frequency and the power in it, it's easy for us to be drawn into it. And before you know it, we're in it. We're not outside of it. And that's a choice. Say, it's not a choice that can be made for each of us. It's a choice that we choose. It's our intent. And our intents are powerful if we understand what those intents are and how that affects things when you intend something. Setting an intention is something all of us do. We've done it. We're doing it now. We've done it in the past. And naturally, the ability to do this, and most of us haven't learned exactly how to master it. See? And that's why so many things happen in our lives that we're kind of like oblivious to. We're just gobsmacked out of the clear blue going, what is going on here, type thing. Because understand is that if you aren't clearly aware of you and what you're doing, it's silly because that sounds to some people, but it's like this. You're the puppet master, okay? And that means you're the God and you're the pure consciousness. And you're outside. The body is in you, okay? And you're outside the body. But you're the puppet master. So I don't know if you've ever done that had a puppet and done that with the strings. But you're literally the master of the body. So you're controlling the body. You're mastered it. And you tell it what to do and that type of thing. But you're the engine. You're the power, the source of creation. And that actually the body's in you. And you're outside the body. So if you can picture that, visualize that in your heart minds, then so you move the arm, move the hands, you talk, you do this, you move, you walk around, you laugh, you do all this stuff. But it's an analogy that explains to us that we're the masters, but you can be a master and not be cognizant, you don't know that consciously. So you believe that, everything is just everything the way it is, okay? But you don't know how it works. And it's crucial before you get to the point when you begin to realize that all these different images about your life, where they're coming from. If you look deep enough, we can see that something in us is constantly directing our attention towards, you ever notice this, is constantly directing our attention towards what we want. You ever notice that? It doesn't have to be material. It can be anything. So we're constantly directing our attention toward what we want, and thus we consistently are attracting it into our lives. Now, does it mean that we know this? No. Not at all. Most people don't. So whether it's that same constant argument with your best friend about religion, the feeling that you really do deserve a better job, or perhaps that dream car, house, or bank account you wish you had, your mind is always focusing on something. It never is not, by the way. So whatever you place your thoughts on is where this energy flows. See, now doesn't it make sense that the heart mind, the God consciousness, is aware and clear, and it's directing your attention to the things that you desire without interruption, without doubt and fear and attachment and expectations. We know that our thoughts move energy into form, which then create the exact situations and circumstances of our future, because we're doing this in the now. And the now creates our future. But when you're clear about that, it's a whole different ballgame. And when you come to know what you really want, what you truly want, there are things that we think we want, but we really don't it's not something that, I must have this. Sometimes we have that, and then when we do get it, we go, it's not what I was expecting. It's not what I was expecting. So it's what we really, really, truly want in our lives. And we relax our body, we focus our entire life energy into the direction, with the feeling of our deepest desires is about to be fulfilled. Our entire life energy. So this is what we focus on, what we truly want, not these little things, not these things that temporarily satisfy the ego and the mind. No, this is the real deal, the real Nelly. So you simply relax your body, focus your entire life energy, your chi, your God force, that direction with the feeling of your deepest desires are about to be fulfilled. Now your mind will just go there automatically. And when the feeling is ripe and alive, which then brings you to the first golden key to creating into reality, learning how to set a positive intention. See, a lot of us we think we use the mind that we're positive. I'm positive. But then you have the subconsciousness and you have the ego that's doubt, the doubt. And you may not even be aware that there's a sprinkling of doubt, and that's why it isn't created into reality. And see, now one thing is constant, the divine perfection that we are. Not the body, not the mind, not the ego, but divine perfection. Pure consciousness, the God from source creator. And that is what doesn't change. It's constant. The body changes, perspectives change while we're in physicality. And if we don't change, we don't grow. If we don't grow, we're not really living. Growth demands a temporary surrender of security. That's it. Yelshi. But how many of us, if we don't change, okay, this is pretty simple. If we don't change, we don't grow. And if we don't grow, we're not really living. Growth demands a temporary surrender of security. That's it right there. That word, that frequency for us, security. Security. A temporary surrender of security. See, my position is, for myself, is that it's a constant surrender of security. See, because when you have expectations and you hold on to things, you may not even be aware you're holding on, and you have these strong attachments to security, you're not ever going to surrender security. Because you have that fear that the mind and the ego has literally lambasted you into believing that, if I surrender my security, And you're not. That's not how it is being presented. You don't surrender your security. You surrender coveting your security. You surrender of constantly fixating on your security. Because it is. And you deem it so. And without trying to block yourself, interfere with yourself, it is. Because in all true perspective and understanding, each of us are the masters of ourselves. And intention is a profound mind-body decision to do. It's a mind-body decision. Be or have something in your future. It is the strongest feeling that we can muster inside, as if we were saving our baby from a fire. And the level of commitment and the level of resolve and the purpose is the key. And there is the full desire that this is what I am doing with my heart, mind, and body right now. This is what I am doing with my heart, mind, and body right now, and nothing else matters. And when you set an intention, you're proclaiming to the universe that you have made up your mind and are firm upon what you really want, and that's it. You release. That's it. So you're proclaiming to the universe, your best buddy, that never lets you down, that is always supporting you, that always has your back, that always answers what you desire. As long as you don't put up that big stop sign stopping the natural flow of abundance that's coming to you 24/7. And the universe, after this, after you decide, okay, that you relax the body and that you deliver your intent, your true intent, and that you say, this is what I'm doing with my heart, mind, and body right now, and nothing else matters. And that intention that you're proclaiming to the universe, it greatly rewards people who know what they want and are relaxed about it on the inside. And the majority are not. And that is why the universe doesn't deliver it. It will greatly reward you. You made up your mind and are firm upon what you really want, and that's it. You just let go. You don't visit it again. You don't fixate on it. You aren't impatient. You have no expectations or attachments. It just is. Because if you already know on some level that it's already going to be created into reality or manifest for you, you can trust completely, let go completely, and be a ball of loving light for all. You can trust that it's already happening, and nothing can stop it from coming to you. And here, the real kicker here for all of us is trust. Trust is the real kicker. And be sure that the universe will be testing you to see how much you trust. It'll test you to see how bad you really want it by providing many wonderful distractions from continually feeling your goal. And these distractions that we all have, they're simply a deep misunderstanding. They're just ordinary life experiences that the mind perceives to be causing you annoyance and delay. Really? They're just ordinary life experiences that the mind perceives to be causing you annoyance and delay. A life without any hindrances has no spark of creativity, grist for deeper insight, or the gumption to propose a completely new idea about how to find peace in every single experience. The real truth is that any distraction can become a meditation with awareness. Any distraction can become a meditation with awareness. We are simply honoring the distracting experience is the right experience that the universe ordered for you. And believe me, there is no such thing as mistakes. The universe never makes mistakes. The distractions that we all, from one time, they're always going on. And distractions are the universe's way of waking you up. They are little mini distant events we've asked for in order to stop hiding out in our heads and start living in our hearts. Okay? So distractions are the universe's way of waking each and every one of us up. They are little mini destined events we've asked for in order to stop hiding out in our heads and start living in our hearts. Now, when you choose to see how nothing is a distraction, you can hold any attention long enough until it is created into reality into your life. This will allow you to stay focused on what you want or desire instead of what you don't want, which will effortlessly magnetize amazing opportunities and people to you. You meet somebody, right? Maybe you have through your travels in this life, but you meet somebody who's had a lot of experience as far as this life. They've experienced a lot of things. They don't boast about it. You may not even know that they have experienced those things. But yet at times when you communicate with them, you find out that, wow, this being has experienced a lot, and they've actually learned a lot from those experiences, those challenges, the challenges that we all experience, things that we are confronted with. And when we see how nothing is a distraction as those things we're confronted with, we can hold any intention long enough until it is created into reality into our lives. And this allows us to stay focused on what we do want. How often do we focus on what we don't want compared to what we do want? When we focus on what we want, and I mean what we truly and understand what it is we are literally moving into form for ourselves. What is it? Or for ourselves and everyone. This depends. And, strength does not come from winning. It really doesn't. It's our struggles that help develop our strengths. It's when any of us discover, or we go through hardships, you just decide not to surrender to those hardships. That's the strength. Okay, so when you talk about surrender, you understand that there's just different surrenders. Surrender from the perspective of surrendering and giving up. Then there's a surrender to the actual confrontation of that which has been created to challenge you through the universe, and surrendering to the understanding that the universe in all shapes, ways, sizes, and forms has your back. When we all look at our physical reality we know that we are made up of pure energy. Now, do we? Some, I think, to a certain extent do. Intelligence, consciousness, everybody and everything around us consists of these three aspects. Right? Pure energy, intelligence, and consciousness. And understand that everything around us consists of these three aspects. And yes, even the stop signs and street pavement have a certain level of aliveness in its subatomic matter. There's nothing. It's almost it's the cosmic celestial existence of pure consciousness that we begin to form the understanding of all things, because we are part of all things. So our consciousness and energy extends out all around us and touches everything, even if it's miles and miles and miles away. Have you ever felt like someone was thinking about you and suddenly the phone rings and it's them? Everything is actually all connected on a very, very, very deep spiritual level, which means you are also connected to your already created into reality, manifested dream, which you're about to experience in the very near future. This is a good quote from Marilyn Voss Savant. Being defeated is only a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. Being defeated is only a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. Now people say, well, what's the difference between giving up and surrender? You're surrendering to the mind and the ego's control over you. That's what you're surrendering. So when I talk about surrender, it's the surrendering of the ego and mind so that they cannot master you, that you become clear conscious awareness of moving energy into form, master them. In eventuality, they exit. So going back to the number one most important question of all time, which is, what is that one intention you really want to create to reality? Do you want to manifest? What is it? What is that one desire? You need to give yourself permission to feel alive again. Allow yourself to feel it now. Let your desire that you thought was impossible surface and show its true face fully. Desire breeds direction in life. And without following our core desire, we will feel lost. And when we know what we want to attract in order to successfully create it into reality, manifest that into our lives, we can relax. We can feel a release of doubt and replace it with a sense of relief. Imagine that you know what you really want to create into reality or manifest right now. Now, how does that feel? And if we could, and I think all of us have this ability, we're all connected. If we could forget mistakes, forget failure, forget everything except what we're going to do now and do it. There's many people who get stuck in wishing their life would change. Have you done that? Have you heard friends, maybe neighbors, loved ones, strangers. People get stuck in wishing their life would change. Then they send out wishy-washy energy with their words, thoughts, and feelings. So they get back mediocre results and feel like a failure because they tried to manifest their dreams or create them into reality. So when any of us are focused, clear, and passionate about the desires and non-attached, no expectations to the outcome of our actions, we will see the universe magically respond to each of our requests. In fact, once you start on this path, it only becomes easier and easier and easier to create into reality or manifest that which moves you forward towards your goal. What is your goal? To be in bliss 24/7, to be in peace, in silence. So try it right now in this moment, in this meditation. Today is your day to begin the process of attracting success into your life by setting a powerful intention right now. You can challenge yourself to do this assignment and set the intention to make for yourself from this day forward to explore raising your creating into reality manifesting vibration. See what happens. It is a good thing to remember that you have the power. You don't gain it. It's not given to you. You have the power to shift your focus towards the direction of your dreams and plant those seeds that will create success in your future right now. And then now you create the future. Decide on one thing. Decide on one thing, not tons of things. Decide on one thing you want to attract to you and be specific. What is it that you want? You want more money? How much more money? You want more peace in your life? How much more peace in your life? Just pick one goal or desire that you would like to create to reality. And remember to pick something that you are passionate about and fully desire. Understand that the ego mind is lurking. So be aware that it will try to derail you and to bring doubt in. Self-worth. Describe this as much in detail as possible. Be very specific, whatever it may be. Write it down. State your intention. See, a lot of us have done this, but the challenge for us is that, is the ego mind in control? If it is, it's never going to be created in reality, because then the universe will answer your intention, whether you're conscious about it or not. What's the intention? Doubt, fear, guilt, self-esteem. Am I deserving of this? Now, some people say, well, make it realistic. Whatever it is realistic for you. You're not concerned about what other people judge and evaluate you on. Why would you be? So, you state your intention and you affirm, you do an affirming sentence which is written in present tense. Not future, not past. It's written in present tense. And you can do any sentence. I'll give you an example. I'm now earning $150,000 a year in sales and loving it. Write this sentence on a Post-it or note card. Post it different places at work, at home, where you can read it often, such as on your bathroom mirror or on your computer. The only reason you do that is that since you haven't become a full master, you've got to remind yourself so that you don't become distracted. So when you look at that writing, it draws you back to your intent. See? And what that means for you, it keeps you on track. It keeps you focused. It keeps you pure. And then you just repeat that sentence. You repeat it out loud every morning. Feel it, visualize it, experience it as if it's already happened. I don't mean fake it till you make it. I mean you experience the feeling of already experiencing it. It sets a deeper intention in your subconscious mind, creates a heightened sense of awareness and purpose towards manifesting this result. Trust. It's on its way, and let it go. Breathe as if you could do this exercise for an eternal period of time and have no anxiety about then or where it will happen. No expectations, no attachments. And if you want to skyrocket your vibration, then focus on the love and the peace and the God consciousness that you are. We choose to stop hiding out in our heads and start living in our hearts. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And what do? We relax our bodies. Relax them. Head to toe, inside and out. So, in a way, are you the body? No, you're not. You're the God. The body is an experience. That's what it is. The body is an experience. So you relax it. Imagine you're sitting on the couch talking with your body. The body's over here, the God's over here. Now we know the body is in the God, and the God is in the body. So you're having this conversation with your body. You say, you know something, body, I think it's time for you to relax. I'm going into meditation. I want you to be with me. So I want you to support me on this. The body will. So it'll relax, head to toe, inside and out. Then we move into the now. And the now is everything, guys. It's everything. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not the future, not the past, but the now. The now is where we begin to master the mind and the ego, because it stills the mind. When you still the mind, you still the ego. And when you do this, since they're both illusions, because you're not allowing the incessant chatter of thousands and thousands and thousands of thoughts that the mind is throwing at you. And that's all they are, thoughts. How you create them into reality for yourself and others. So the now is what we're doing in this very moment. All of us right now in this very moment, in this meditation. And what our direction is, what our intent is for this meditation, what we desire this group, massive assembly of God souls, that liberation of this planet. What is our intention for this? So, moment to moment, the space between heartbeats. Some of it's going to pass. I think we all do at times. Reminisce, thoughts, embrace for a moment, savor that past experience, and then we move on. Because we're looking forward and not behind. And so we don't go in the future. A lot of us will skip the now. Most of us skip the now. We're never in it. We're either in the future or the past. Some of us go in the past, we stay there too long, we create that, we take that past, create a future from that past, relive that past and that future. Which is why a lot of people on this planet right now are saying, I feel like I'm going nowhere. I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, and I'm getting nowhere in life. Well, that's the interplay of the ego as well, and the mind. In the now, we create everything. Moment to moment, we create it all. And to be cognizant, aware, clear of who and what you are is absolutely imperative. And all of our distractions, it's the universe's way of waking us ask for these in order to stop hiding out in our heads and start living in our hearts. So then we want to breathe. And we want to breath in through the nose, and we want to breath out through the mouth. The breath is divine positive energy because it sustains, it holds the God, the kingdom of God within it. And the God embraces all of it. So this breath, this divine positive energy, we bring it up through the center of our bodies. Our body's relaxed. We're in the now. We have stilled the mind. And these are all colored wheeled lights, vortexes, energy vortexes, conduits, spiritual conduits. And they're all multicolored. They all have different flower shapes and geometrical shapes in the centers. And these are spiritual pathways. These are the spirit existence compared to the physical existence and how the two are connected in this life experience. The root chakra, Muladhara. This is your red wheel of light. It's our career, our money, our mindset, sense of belonging. This also is a conduit for a continual fountain of chi, our God force energy, our light, love light energy. That's what keeps these bodies functioning, by the way. And it represents our foundation of feeling of being in the now, which means grounded. Base of the spine, tailbone area. What are the connections, emotional issues, survival issues such as financial independence, money, and food. Physical association of our spine, rectum, legs, arms, circulatory system. Then we move to the orange wheel of light, sacral chakra, the Vadisthana. And it's our connection and ability to accept others and new experiences. How are you going to accept others if you cannot accept yourself? Right? And how are you going to accept new experiences when you cannot accept what you're in now? The old and ran over past. So your lower abdomen about 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in. What are the emotional issues? Sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, sexuality. Physical association, reproductive organs, kidneys, bowels, and immune system. And then we go to the golden yellow wheel of light, the Manipura, solar plexus chakra, our ability to be confident and in control of our lives. When you're the master, you're directing your life. And you're sprinkling in things so that you have some challenges. And it's in the upper abdomen and stomach area. And what's its connection? What's its emotional connections with these bodies as we're in them? Self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. Nothing more I'd like to see than this entire civilization have great, healthy self-esteem. Physical association, central nervous system, pancreas, liver, digestive tract, skin. Then we move to the emerald green wheel of light, the heart chakra, the Anahata. It's our ability to love. Isn't it interesting? We are love, but do we have the ability to love? If you don't understand who and what you are, without judgment, without expectation, without attachment, how are you going to love? And it's the center of your chest above your heart, and emotional issues are love, joy, and inner peace. Physical association is heart, thymus, lower lung, circulatory system, immune system. Then we move to the throat chakra, the blue wheel of light, the Vishuddha, self-expression. This is our ability to talk, communicate, interact with each other, ourselves. It's in the throat. Emotional connections, communication, self-expression of feelings, the truth. What's our physical association? Thyroid, respiratory system, teeth, and vocal cords. Then we move to the indigo wheel of light, the third eye chakra, the Ajna. This is our ability to focus on and see the big picture. It's a location, it's a forehead between the eyes, so you call it the brow chakra. Emotional issues, intuition, imagination, wisdom, ability to think and make decisions. Physical associations, pituitary gland, eyes, and sinuses. Then we reach the violet wheel of light, the crown chakra, the Asra, and this is the highest chakra, and it represents our ability to be fully connected spiritually. The very top of the head. Emotional issues, our inner and outer beauty, our connection to spirituality, pure bliss. It's our core. It's our core presence, our core issue. And the pineal gland, brain, and nervous system. So we've moved all of this frequency and this pure energy, this cosmic sparkle. And as we do, we bring it up to the top of the head, and we hold it briefly. I am light, I am love, I am, and we compress and condense it into pure liquid energy. Omnipotently powerful, as we are, and we release it over the pineal gland. Pineal gland is important to us while we're in these bodies. It's the gateway to all the particles of existence. It is the gateway to pure consciousness, the God, and beyond. So wouldn't we desire it, want it, to be fully functional, healthy, and vibrant? Absolutely. You view it however you choose. I view it as a rosebud, a green ball. And I release this pure liquid energy over the pineal, and it absolutely expands, and it grows, and it goes into full bloom, beautiful fragrance, multicolored petaled rose, massive, and it opens up all the gateways. It opens up all the conduits, all the gateways to all of our existence, all of existence within existence. It allows us to be everywhere in the now. We are also consciously aware that we are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And we're all one, we're all love, we're all God, and our God light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, forever, beyond, and forever, and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We have others with us, and we are merged. Remember, all of us are one, as we call in the different reflections of us. We're one with the heart mind. We're one with the God. We are one with pure consciousness. We are one with all the particles of existence. We have the archangels, cherubim, seraphim, the archetypes. This is a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. This is why we don't see them like we see each other. We meet them. We do meet them in this life. We interact with them. And most of the time, you aren't going to identify it in the moment. That's not what the interaction is about. The interaction is about remembering and understanding who and what you are through that communication with them, that you are the love, that you are the peace, and it is all within you. They are consciously aware that they are the highest, and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. Now, they vibrate, because of their frequency, they can have thousands surrounding any one of us in a very small space. That's bliss. And we have the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda, Jesus, El Morya, Abundantia, Pell, Thoth, many, many, many more. One of names you wouldn't even recognize. And they've ascended out of body, have mastered ascension out of body, and hold pure consciousness God form. And they are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. Now, are the archangels, the cherubim, seraphim, archetypes, and are these ascended masters, are they us and are we them? Yes. Different aspects of our existence and experiencing. It's absolutely fabulous. Magna glorious. we're compelled to call out to all the other particles of existence within existence, pure consciousness of God. All of that. All of the reflections of all of us. Different forms, shapes, sizes, superficially. But all housing the God within them. All part of us. So we call out to all light energy beings and all there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And they come in the Googleplexes. One Googleplex will fill this entire universe. They come in trillions of Googleplexes from every direction, and they are with us now. We call upon all the inhabitants of inner Earth, hollow Earth, Agartha, beneath Earth, all these civilizations and species, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And they are with us now, in the billions. We call upon all the off-worlders, all the galactics, all the celestials, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation of forming the circle of light. Now, we're only familiar with a handful of them, somewhat familiar. Not like they're our best friends down the street. And they are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest and deepest, deepest, eternal love, and of and from the highest and deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. The frequency, all of our frequencies are high. That's why we're gathered here, with this intent of this liberation of this planet. So just today, the ones that we are somewhat familiar with, 1,000 of them, over 1,000, travel through the solar system every day. This includes all the species, all the levels of all of these civilizations. And remember, all civilizations, the majority have pure consciousness, God-light energy, source creator. So they're good. Unfortunately, like all civilizations, there's other parts that aren't good. So, the Pleiadians, Sirians, Andromedans, Arcturians, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Gray, Nord, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian, many, many, many more. They've been with us, assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And in the billions, they are with us now. Are we them? Are they us? Yes. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the form of the circle of light. And they come in the billions, and they are with us now. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms. In this now, in this meditation, the forming of the circle of light. Now we're only familiar with a handful of them, somewhat. There's trillions of them, shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the forming of the circle of light. And just to name a few of them, we only see about 1% of them. Fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls. ether. Mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the Pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. Many, many, many more. They're with us now. We're all assembled, all consciously aware. All of our gods together, arm in arm, hand in hand. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness and kindness, generosity and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, and abundance. And we are all one, and we are all God, and we are all love, and our God-light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We all form this massive circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this meditation. And we are the light. It is a high vibrational frequency that which created us through source creation of pure consciousness, of the God, of the soul, of the spirit, of the higher self. This is the vibration. This is the frequency. This is the light energy. It is so brilliant, it grays out the darkness of space. It would take over 1 billion of the suns in this solar system even compared to its brilliance. It is pure, deep, eternal love, the purest of the purest pure. It is divine perfection. Divine perfection. And it floods us all, perpetually, eternally, head to toe, inside and out, all life. The highest, most supreme value in the universe. All of our brothers and sisters, everything and everything. We begin to levitate up, and we're immediately met with a gossamer field. This field is filled with trillions, infinity of reflective mirrors with vibrant colored lights spraying everywhere, beaming everywhere. And they're all reflections of all of us. Different existences, different bodies, all one, all experiencing together in different directions and ways, all in source creation. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we are the power of healing. We're immediately met after that with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we're met with the white fire. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we are imbued eternally, head to toe, inside and out, with a divine perfection, white fire armor. This is Source Creator. This is love, pure love, highest of the highest high frequencies that protects us 24/7. Nothing externally can harm the field, the armor. Can't even get close to it. Any low dark matter, survival matter frequencies are literally vaporized. They can't sustain themselves. But only you have the power that if you decide, whether consciously or unconsciously, depending on where your mastering is currently at, you can lower yourself into far enough with anger, fear, pain, anguish, sorrow, hurriedness, dishonesty, deception, all of these things. You will then create a breach in your white fire armor. You will then allow these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. If you do decide to do that, you are then met with the purple transmuting flame. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, send them back to pure consciousness where they are no more. Then we're met with the violet ray. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, and we can cleanse, purify, in our white fire armor, restoring our love. Then we're met with the golden white pink light. That this is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we're the sunsets on this planet. We're the sunrises. We're the rainbows. We're the rain. We're the oceans. We are the heat. We are everything. We are the moon. We are the sun. We are the planets. We are the universe. We are everything. We begin to continually levitate above this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light, in the liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. As we do this, some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it. And then we look upon this massive crystalline tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system. The solar system has over 100 planets. And we see inside of it, not hard to do, it's just everywhere, as you see inside of this oblong sphere, in the center it has a golden white light that's just softly emanating waves, pulses out. And then we see trillions of just beautiful, vibrant colors in an auric field, circle like a pattern of a rainbow, all emanating these beautiful waves, soft waves of like a penetrating, pure energy of deep eternal love, gratitude, bliss, joy, peace, abundance, all flooding everything and everything eternally, perpetually. All of us, all of our brothers and sisters, all life, the supreme values in the universe. And then at the top of it we see this golden ocean that is cascading around in 360 degrees, flooding all of us. Everything and everything. Eternally, non-stop. We designed it this way. This is pure, deep, eternal love. It's everything. Lifting the frequencies, elevating the planet's moral balance, ethic balance, moving into the God that we are, expanding our awareness in purity of the deep love that we are, of the kindness that we are, first experiencing with ourselves, then being able to beam that and flood everyone around us and everything for miles and miles and miles. Each of us are drops of the golden ocean. Each of us hold the essence of that ocean. A drop of the ocean on this planet is not separate from the ocean, nor is the ocean separate from it. We then look and see our meditative sphere at that center circle. We all created this sphere well over 2 years ago. It holds well over 1,000 of our meditations in perpetual motion, the purest of intent, without expectations, without attachments, from all of us throughout existence within existence. All of us together, liberating this planet. And it is being liberated. And it has been liberated. And it continues to expand, and it continues to intensify the deep, eternal, vibrational frequency that it is, that we all are, and our conscious awareness of it. And each day, in numbers that cannot be identified, and the infinity numbers throughout all existence, and as we convene here for this planet and for all life, the supreme value in the universe. This is why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. And in the silence now, understand that distractions are the universe's way of waking you up. fading out in our heads and start living in our hearts. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. And now, move slowly and breathe easily. And in your heart mind, understand that distractions are the universe's way of waking you up. They are little mini destined events we have asked for in order to stop hiding out in our heads and start living fully in our hearts. And when we all can see how nothing is a distraction, and we can hold any intention long enough until it is created into reality in our lives, this is what allows us to stay focused on what we want instead of what we do not want. And this, in turn, will effortlessly magnetize, guaranteed, as long as you stay in the heart mind, amazing opportunities and people to you, not away from you. Take this with you the rest of the day into the evening and night, into the following morning, and experience how wonderful it is to be in the heart mind, and how wonderful it is to have such an ally and best friend as the universe. We'll be back here tonight